Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. Your girl is live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Your girl Janice is live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited to have you guys on tonight. So, real quick, guys, as you are joining in, go ahead and let me know where you guys are logging in from. I'm logging in from Queens, New York. And this is also where I started my beauty supply stores in Queens, New York. So if we got any New York people in the building, shouts out to you guys. It is so cold. It is like negative whatever degrees outside, but it's all good. So drop your city in the chats, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know in the chat what city you're repping. It's really a New York City thing. Like we like to rep our boroughs. So like what city are you repping? What city are we opening beauty supply stores at? Because that's what we're talking about tonight. What cities will we be opening beauty supply stores? Drop it in the chat, guys, as you are logging in. Let us know. Okay, so I see that PA is in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Houston, Texas. Of course, we always have Houston in the house. Who else? Chicago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh Indiana's in the building. Welcome, welcome. We have Gaffney. South Carolina is here. Jersey is here. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I'm excited to see so many diverse cities. That is so amazing. So, literally, y'all, we have people all over America wanting to open Black owned beauty supply stores. We have people all over wanting to open beauty supply stores. We have Connecticut in the building. Let's see, we got some other people coming in. Alabama's in the building. Memphis is here. Hey, Memphis. We got Dayton, Ohio. Bridgeport. What state is this? Bridgeport. What state is that? Okay, Florida, Charlotte. Awesome, 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 awesome. So I'm excited. This is really, really exciting. Also, guys, let me know in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is your first training with the Retail Genius. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is your first training with me. Drop a 2 in the chat if you've been on a training with me before. I just want to see if we have a lot of new people or do we have more tribe members in the building. Let me know if this is your first training with me. I do a lot of trainings. And so I just want to get a feel for all the new people in the building. Awesome. So we got a few ones here. We got a few ones. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, this is great. I'm excited that we have so many new faces on tonight. So I'm excited for you guys to get to know me and what it is that we do for people in the industry and hopefully get you guys started with opening your own beauty supply store because that is what this is all about. So we are going to get started, y'all. We are going to get started, but I always love for you guys to keep the chats lit because I love an interactive conversation. And let me know, guys, can you see my screen, guys? Can you see my slides for the training that I have? Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see the training and the slides, y'all. Okay, so we are going to get started, guys, into tonight's training, which is how to launch a profitable beauty supply store in 2026. And I am your host, the Retail Genius. My real name, my government name is Janice Fredericks. Okay. So before we get into it, I always have to share a legal notice and disclaimer. That's just for those individuals who like to copy my trainings and resell my stuff. So, this training, including all of its strategies, frameworks, predictions, methods, and materials, is the exclusive intellectual property of Janice Fredericks and the Retail Genius. It is provided for personal educational use only. Any reproduction, distribution, recording, sharing, or commercial use of this content, including using it to create your own programs, trainings, or offers, is strictly prohibited and will be enforced under U.S. copyright and intellectual property law. So we got that out the way, guys. Don't copy my stuff and share it, okay? Let's keep it kosher. All right, so let's get started. The Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here. It is here, and it is a powerful movement, and I'm excited to share with you guys tonight, like what has been happening in this industry. And so we have so many clients, and I can't share them all, but there are going to be a few in particular who I want to highlight because of their success and their level of success being a Black-owned beauty supply store. And I'll be sharing a lot of case studies. And because representation is everything. I don't know if y'all saw the halftime show yesterday with Bad Bunny, but representation is everything. When we see other people come before us doing great things and doing things that we want to do, it's inspirational. And so we have one client of ours, Quality Beauty. My African sister came to us about 7 years ago and opened a store in Grayson, Georgia. Then we have New York Beauty Supply here. These two young gentlemen opened the first Black-owned beauty supply store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Then we have Jazzy Chick. She was a nurse that turned into a beauty boss out in Henderson, Nevada. We have these two sisters here, Be Brave Beauty Supply. They actually opened 2 locations in LA, the LA area. We have My Shade and Texture out in Tampa, Florida, House of Melanin in Oak Park, Illinois, Bold Cold Beauty, which is in Orlando, Florida, and Mega Beauty Supply, which is in the Houston, Texas area. So guys, I share all of these different areas to show that everything that I'm going to be teaching and training you guys tonight is a blueprint, meaning it works in every state, every city, no matter where you are, right? No matter where you are, this is a blueprint that we have seen work for decades and work again, no matter if you are in a huge city with a lot of people or in a small suburban area with not that many people, it has worked. Okay, so tonight's agenda, we're going to be going into the real state of the beauty supply industry in 2026. What's changing? What smart store owners are doing differently? We're going to be talking about funding and capital trends, what's working now, and how to position your store to win in this economy. Okay. And then lastly, which is very important for you guys to stay to the end, I'm going to be sharing how you can actually partner with me and my team to actually get your store open in 2026. And so this is not going to be for everyone, but if you are on here tonight and this has been a dream and goal of yours for a while, you definitely want to sit to the very end to see how you can become one of the 100 stores that we plan on opening this year. Okay. And we're going to have a Q&A session so you can be able to ask your questions, all the things at the very, very end. So all your questions, guys, make sure you have them written down on a notebook because I'm going to be sharing a lot of information so that at the end, you can go ahead and ask your questions and make sure that, as I'm going through the content, if you don't understand something or want more clarity, just write it down and I can go through it at the very end. All right. So there are some reasons why you guys are here today wanting to look into the beauty supply industry. Okay. So there's number one, you may be someone who's been working that corporate job. You have a regular 9 to 5, like most of us, and you are just tired, right? You're tired of the job that you're doing. You want to do work that's more fulfilling. You may want to do work that's like has a direct impact on lives. And you're just kind of tired and you're over your 9 to 5 job, right? The number one thing I hear from people in my consults is that I am just tired. Okay. And I was too tired when I ventured into beauty supply, which I'll be sharing my story a little bit later. The second reason why you might be on here is that you understand that your community is waiting for a Black-owned beauty supply store to get open. Like, we're just tired of having to shop with the Asians and Arabs. And you recognize that this is a need. Like, there's a void in the community. And this is something that the community absolutely needs. And you want to be the person to actually deliver it. And then lastly, you may be on here because you may have just been an investor and you're kind of just looking at different investment opportunities and different business opportunities. And you understand that beauty supply is it. and you want to create financial freedom and generational wealth. And you have seen that the Asians and the Arabs have been doing it for decades, and why not us? Right. And so you may be someone who's just kind of focused on the money part and just, again, you want financial freedom. And that is okay. That is okay. So if any of these resonated with you, give me a yes in the chat. Give me a yes in the chat. And then, so now let me get into who I am and why I'm on this training tonight. So again, I am the Retail Genius. I am the founder of the Retail Genius and Fabulous Freddy's Beauty Supply. I have helped Black women secure over 1.4 million in funding for beauty supply stores. My clients have collectively generated over 15 million in revenue. I have been recognized by Black Enterprise Magazine as an industry pioneer. However, I started out in the corporate sector as a Wall Street girl. I worked for the top investment firm in the country, Goldman Sachs. And now, 2026, I am the #1 strategist and consultant helping Black women reclaim the beauty supply industry. I am also a single mom of 5 small children, wanting to build legacy and generational wealth for my babies. Okay. And so, like I mentioned, I've been in so many different articles and publications, and I share these things. It's not bragging stuff. It's just there's a lot of scams out there. And so if you're not able to Google someone who is doing a training, that's the first red flag. And so these are a lot of things that you can Google that I'm actually very, very proud of. Okay. So like I said, Black Enterprise Magazine, when I had them write this article on me while I had my beauty supply stores, this was, almost a decade ago. And this was at a time where there weren't many Black owned beauty supply stores like in the country, like collectively in the country. And I was even talking about increasing the number of Black owned beauty supply stores back then, before we even started doing consulting full time. And so this movement started literally while I was in my own store, because I was so alone and lonely, had no other counterparts or peers that I can actually talk to, because everyone that was in my county were Asian owned beauty supply stores. And so really I started this conversation way before we even started doing this for real full time. And now, as we started our programs and helping other people open beauty supply stores, we have different articles and publications written about our programs, which I'm very, very proud of these as well. So Business Insider wrote about us. She says the Retail Genius Bootcamp program is helping fill the pockets of Black women. Yahoo Finance wrote about us. They said the program has helped Black women generate 3 million in beauty supply. And this was actually in 2020 that it was at 3 million. Right now it's at 15 million. And Kivo Daily wrote, Janice Fredericks is reclaiming the beauty supply industry for Black women everywhere. For Black women everywhere. And so this is such a powerful movement right now that we are experiencing, because up until this point, there has never been a person or a program specifically helping Black people in the beauty supply industry. And this is why we have a strong mission of opening 100 stores, because we understand when we have ownership, then we can change the trajectory of our lives and also impact our community in a really, really phenomenal way. And so this is actually a picture of my grand opening, y'all. This was my grand opening in 2010. And literally, this was the day that my life completely changed, because this was when I went from being a corporate girl into an entrepreneur in my beauty supply store. And I remember this day like it was yesterday. My entire family was there. My grandmother was there. She's the one standing next to me. God rest her soul. My dad was there. My mom. I had aunts fly out to witness this amazing day. And so it was such an impactful day. But what was also really, really impactful for me personally was the community outreach and how many people showed up to see this young Black girl open a beauty supply store. And when I tell you, when you open your Black owned beauty supply store in your community, the community will show up and they will be so grateful that a Black owned beauty supply store now exists. Because again, guys, we don't realize it, but this has been an underserved market for African Americans for decades. 4 decades. And when I tell you that people are waiting literally for someone to do this work and open this type of business for the community, they are literally waiting. Because, guys, we have seen over the past year or so that there have been boycotts, Target boycotts, all these different boycotts, and people literally are stuck with, where do I find a place to buy my products with all these different boycotts? Where can I actually go where I can actually feel safe? And your beauty supply store becomes that safe space. Your beauty supply becomes that safe space. And so I want you guys to elevate your thinking when it comes to starting this type of business, because it's unlike any other business. It's unlike starting a hair salon or a nail shop or a fashion boutique. We've seen many people do those, but we have yet to see Black people conquer the beauty supply industry in a way that the Asians and Arabs have conquered and made billions in this industry. Okay, so this work matters. So now I want to ask you, if this was your grand opening, who is the one person that you would want to be standing beside you at your ribbon cutting for your grand opening? Who would be impacted the most if you actually achieved the goal of opening your beauty supply store? Because we have to kind of think outside of ourselves when we are opening our beauty supply stores. Like, we are doing it for someone. It may be your mom, your parents, your children, your spouse, right? Who is that one person that's like, I would want that one person standing? Type their name in the chat. Type their name in the chat. Who would you want to be standing right next to you as you cut your ribbon? This is like, for my woman that's on here, this is like pushing that baby out. Who would you want in that delivery room when you are pushing the baby out and you are making this dream become a reality? What one person would you want to be standing beside you at your ribbon cutting? I want you to drop their names in the chat. And this is a safe space, y'all. I will say that multiple times. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. And so I give everyone permission to be open and be vulnerable and to dream big and to take the shackles off and the chains off and the expectations off. Okay. Because this is our dream, and we can dream this dream the way we want to. And so whoever it is, it could be a hater. It could be a hater. Whoever it is that you would want at this grand opening, that this would just be a game changer for you, I want you to drop that person's name in the chat. Again, it could be your grandma, it could be your parents, it could be your mom, it could be your children, it could be a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or a hater from high school, child. It is all good. Okay. Because here's the next thing I want to say, right? Because it is February. And so you want to start to think about how you want to spend the rest of your 2026. Because imagine this, by the end of this year, you too could be celebrating the grand opening of your very own beauty supply store. So can you see yourself actually stepping into ownership in 2026? And what would it mean to be the first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community? What would it mean for you in your future if you were actually able to open your beauty supply store and change your financial trajectory? Not only financial freedom, but time freedom, reclaiming your time. For a lot of us, we're reclaiming our time. What would it mean if you were actually able to do this? Because listen, the opportunity is absolutely here. And like we had stated before in the beginning, a lot of us are on here because we're tired of our 9-to-5 job. We know that the community needs a Black-owned beauty supply store. We also know that we can make a lot of money in this industry by being our own boss. We also recognize and realize that we work hard for this person in this 9-to-5 job. Why not take that energy and put it into our own business and work just as hard to make our own money and to make our own living, right? Because here's another thing. we have been taught as a community, especially people of color, a lot of myths, right? A lot of us have a lot of money mindset issues, is what I would call it, because we weren't raised in environments where investing in ourselves was talked about. We were raised in an environment to get that good 9 to 5 job or a good government job with benefits and to live a happy life and retire in 30 years, right? And so a lot of these myths, I don't have enough money, is what we tell ourselves because this has been ingrained enough. Or the industry is too saturated. There's a lot of competition. I don't know how to get accounts open. I don't think I have the time. I don't know where I get the funding. A lot of this is disempowering language. And I want you to completely stop it, especially for those of you who are seriously thinking about pursuing this. You cannot move forward in any business venture with disempowering language. That's why it's so important to get into rooms like the room we are in now. It's a virtual room, but it's definitely a lot of people from different places, as you guys can see, from all over America you're on this training to empower yourself. And so while you're on this training to empower yourself, you want to start using empowering language. Where can I now get the money? Right? The industry is competitive. How do I make my store be set apart from the competition, right? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Well, how can I get connected to the people who do know how to do this so I can get my store open and mitigate the mistakes and mitigate the risk, right? I don't have enough time. Well, how do I make a schedule where I can have the time to work on my business while I'm still working my 9 to 5 job, right? This is empowering language that we now want to implement. Okay. And so I know you may be asking these questions. You know, I still need to understand how the agents are doing this. I still want to understand how to get started, if there's gatekeepers, and how do I get this funding. Rest assured, my good sis, we are going to get into it because this is what this training is all about. But this is the greatest wake-up call, right, of why you are here. Because 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs due to DEI rollbacks, government shutdowns, etc. And so we understand that our job is not safe, right? And I'm going to share how I lost my good job, right? And so our jobs are not safe. The only safety is in when we create ownership for ourselves. Okay. And the beauty supply industry is a billion-dollar industry, but it is time that we own more than just the products, right? We need to, as Black people, start owning the shelves. Okay. Because another statistic that I want to share is that as Black women, a lot of us are mothers, and 80% of Black mothers are the primary and sole breadwinners in the household. This is me. I mentioned to you guys, I am a single mom of 5 small kids. So I understand what it looks like and feels like to have all the weight just on you. You're not sharing it with anybody else. And that is even more of the reason to why we have to create our own ownership, because we have our children who are looking at us to make things shake. Okay. And so our responsibility is unlike anybody else's as single Black mothers. Okay. So this is our first case study. This is case study number 1. This is Pampered Texture out in North Dakota. This is another single mom. Her name is Benisa from West Africa. So she came to us and asked us about opening a beauty supply store. So she was a hairstylist, okay, and came to us, wanted to open a beauty supply store. We opened a beauty supply store and hair salon for her. And literally, she sent me this text message and mentioned that I got Eben and Annie customers coming in. They love the products. Cash flow is not an issue because my salon is so busy. On average, we do $500 a day. So she's making $500 a day and actually on her way to doubling year 2. And again, this is a single mom from West Africa. Single mom of 4 from West Africa, now living the real American dream of owning her own business where she does not have to be behind the chair 24/7. because she now has a beauty supply store and a hair salon where she has stations that she's able to rent out to other people. And now she can actually work passively on her business and be with her 4 children. Okay, this is the real American dream. It's not owning no house, y'all. That is a scam that they lied and they told a lie that they told us that we need to go own a house or we need to go get a degree. The real American dream is ownership of a business that can cash flow you money to where you don't have to be physically working as a hairstylist, as a massage therapist, as a makeup artist, as a doctor, as a nurse, as a whatever, right? This is a business that works passively when you set it up correctly. Okay. So let's get into what 2025 showed us in terms of the numbers, right? So let's get into the numbers so we can understand the business. So in 2025, we saw that beauty demand stayed strong even with economic uncertainty. So we know that 2025 was a terrible year economically. However, the beauty supply industry actually stayed strong. Ulta, which is one of our beauty supply giants, actually raised its annual sales forecast, reporting 1 to 2% increase in foot traffic, right? So here we can understand that the industry was not slowing down, okay? Weak stores had declined and strong community center stores actually grew. So this is your opportunity to actually enter the market while it is rebalancing. Okay. We also saw that the Black beauty and textured hair categories grew from 4 to 6% annually. Okay. And that Black consumers literally drive billions in annual beauty spend. Okay. So, what we can get from this is that demand is not the issue, right? Demand is not the issue. Demand is here. It's the ownership. Who is owning these businesses? That is the issue. So 2026 is a year that we stop watching and we start owning, right? That we stop being consumers and being on the consumer end of things and we start having ownership because we understand that Black women actually fuel this economy. Okay. And so, like I mentioned before, guys, opening a store is just not about making a lot of money, right? This is about economic justice and economic freedom. And here's the biggest piece during Black History Month, right? We understand that we are not new to this, we are true to this. So these 2 women, most of you should know who these women are, Madam CJ Walker and Annie Malone. These are 2 pioneers back in the 1920s who were self-made millionaires in America. How did they get their millions? It was through beauty and hair care and distribution, right? They created hair care products that changed the entire landscape of beauty. And so understand this, Black women, they have already given us the blueprint to make our millions in beauty. So this is not something, guys, that we are doing for the first time because we had our pioneers and our ancestors like Madam CJ Walker and Annie Malone come before us and give us the blueprint. Like they literally said, this is how y'all make a million. And if I can have done it in the 1920s, certainly in 2026, Black women can do this and we can make multi-millions in this industry because they already given us the blueprint. Because they've already given us the blueprint so that this is in us. This is in our DNA to make millions in beauty. Okay? And this is exactly how I got my start, right? Because they got their start during an economic downturn. It was a Spanish flu. It was a terrible pandemic. I got my start doing another economic downturn, which was the mortgage crisis of 2008. And a lot of us was around for that time. We remember it. People were looking for gas in the gas stations. You couldn't find gas anywhere. It was like impossible. And this is when I decided to open my beauty supply store. So we had in 2008, I was laid off from my job at the US Treasury Department. So again, there was lots of layoffs and I was one of them. And so I had no idea what I was going to do, but I understood that I wanted to definitely pursue something where I was working my tail off for these people and they fired me. I want to take that same energy and work in a business myself. And I understood my work ethic. And so I know that if I could work this hard for somebody else, certainly I will work this hard for my own business. And that's where I had the idea to open my beauty supply store, which I did in 2010. Fast forward in 2026, I am the founder of the number one beauty supply consulting agency in America. Okay. I'm also a serial entrepreneur and author of the book Breaking Barriers: How to Open Your Own Beauty Supply Store. Y'all can catch that on Amazon. Okay. But I did it all during an economic downturn. And because I was able to still bet on myself and take a risk with opening a business during a time where most people were afraid, I was actually able to take market share. And this is why they say millionaires are made in recession, because it's only going to be 1% of people who are going to be brave enough to open a business. And so while everybody else is too scared and too afraid to enter the market, when the economy gets good and everybody's opening businesses and it's bustling, I already have market share because my business has already been open. And so I've already taken all the customers. I already have all the market share. Now you're going to come along with your beauty supply store, but now you got to compete with me who's already been here. Do you see how that works? You got to do it scared. And this is what the numbers look like, right? It is $100 billion industry driven by Black consumers by $8 billion. Okay. Owned by Asians, 92%. Okay. So 8%, okay, is owned by African Americans. So now let's talk about what is coming, what's working now. Okay. So the era of pretty packaging is absolutely over. In 2026, the brands that are going to perform will actually dominate the shelves. So this means that customers are now demanding real products that really, really work. So it's no more copy and paste what everybody else is selling, but it's more so making sure that you are doing the research to carry the products that are actually going to perform well in your store. Because the let me tell you something. This is exactly what we did with my beauty supply store. Me and my sisters researched all of the indie brands that were not yet exploited by big box retailers. And those were the brands that we decided to have in our stores because we wanted to curate a store that was based on real products that really work. So here's the gem number one. I hope you guys have your notebooks out and you're ready to take notes because now we're going to get into these gems. Okay. So secret strategy number one, secret gem number one is that you want to build a results driven product mix. You want to build a results driven product mix. Now, the product mix is all of the different categories that you are going to have in your beauty supply business. All the different products that you plan to carry, whether that's men's lines, children's lines, right? They call it OTC, over the counter lines, electronics, chemicals. Chemicals is your perms, your dyes, right? Your relaxers, okay? Your natural organic lines, right? Your indie products. All of this builds your overall product mix. And the reason why creating your product mix tailored to your community is so important is because inventory is the number one asset that is on your balance sheet, right? So this is how we are going to make our coin, is through our unique product mix. Okay. This is how I was able to generate 5-figure months, making 15,000 to 20,000 per month in a store that was all of 800 square foot of space. It was very, very small. Okay. So I opened my store in Queens, New York in a space that was very, very small. But how is someone able to make 15,000 in a store that's 800 square feet of space? Well, it's by having a very unique product mix. And so it just goes to show you that you don't have to have this big warehouse beauty supply store with all the things and all the names and every product under the sun, like our Asian and Arab brothers and sisters. We can make a lot of money by niching down and being focused on products that really work. And when you do that strategy and you don't try to be everything to everyone, and you focus on your product mix, you can also make 5-figure months. Okay. Next, private label, guys, is going to be the new standard. And so, private label is you having your own unique brand in your beauty supply store. Okay. No longer are we going to be just selling other people's brands, right? But the real strategy is having your own unique signature product. Okay. That's secret gem number 2. Because when you have your own unique signature product, you are able to now charge what you want for your product. So whereas we're making margins off of other people's brands, Main Choice, Mielle Organics, Curl Mix, Curl Chicks, 30 to 40% on average, we're making 30 to 40% with our profit margins as a retailer, right? When you have your own product line, now sky's really is the limit. Now you can make 70%, 80%, 90, 100%, right? A lot of our wigs, we do 100% markup because you're able to do that with your own signature product. So, to make sure that y'all are paying attention, right? Our secret gem number 1 was product mix. I want you to type that in the chat. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Product mix is our secret gem number 1. Secret gem number 2 is going to be our signature product, right? Our signature product. Now, this is a brand that we are going to carry. Okay. So that could be bundles, right? That's the most popular thing that we do in beauty supply stores is we have our own bundles with our own branding on it, right? So we outsource that. We go to Alibaba, AliExpress, right? That's the sites that you want to go to source your unique product. And you could source just about anything on this website. Again, it's Alibaba and AliExpress. Y'all can Google that, okay? We have had clients do bonnets, like really unique, beautiful bonnets, right? In my store, we did makeup and we did makeup brushes, right? So we had our own brand of makeup and makeup brushes. We have another client out in Memphis, okay? New York Beauty Supply out in Memphis. She did, she has her own product line of edge control in her store, okay? We've even had a client that is, she's like a wellness store, right? She's more of a wellness store. And she actually does smoothies. Like she does juices and smoothies and things like that, right? So I just want you guys to understand that sky is the limit with your beauty supply store. You can literally create what you want. And this is exactly what we did with our client, Pam. She is the owner of My Shade and Texture in Tampa, Florida. So in Pam's store, she has a beauty bar, glow bar is what she calls it. But this is her signature product line of different natural oils and scrubs where her clients can come into the store and literally mix and match all of these different oils and scrubs and create their own concoction. But this is off of her branded scrubs and oils, right? And so again, because it's her branded oils and scrubs, she's able to charge what she wants to charge. And so we have seen castor oil go for like $8, $10, like Tropical Living. And then we've seen castor oil in Sephora go for $30, $40. One castor oil is $8. One castor oil is $40. They both castor oil. So this is, again, sky is the limit when you have your own signature brand and your own signature product. And in Pam's store, My Shade and Texture, her DIY bar generates 80% of the revenue in her store. So Pam don't even have to sell Mielle Organics and, Main Choice and all these if she didn't want to. Because literally most of our income comes from her signature product. Okay. Now let's move on. So in 2026, you need to absolutely have a hybrid retail model because customers are now expecting shop in line, shop online, pick up in the store, delivery options, right? Emails and SMS updates. Incorporating AI into your business is important. And we are constantly working with our clients with incorporating AI and technology in their stores because, again, if you're not up to date with technology and what's happening, you are literally going to be left behind and you're literally leaving money on the table. Okay. So, with this secret gem and strategy, is that you want to be thinking about how you can create and build a dual channel retail machine. Okay. Drop that in the chat. Dual channel retail machine. This is what y'all want to be thinking about, is literally waking up to money in your bank account from sales that you have made in your online store. Literally. Okay. Doing international business. And it doesn't even have to be on a retail level, it could also be on a wholesale level. Okay. This is how we create multiple streams of income from our beauty supply stores. And this is exactly what our client Christina did in LA. Her store is Curly Girl Love. And when I met Christina, she was a school teacher, and then she turned into a stay-at-home mom. She had Irish twins, and then decided that she did not want to return to the classroom. So she called us to assist her with opening her beauty supply store. And within a couple of months of being in the program, she was able to get funding. So we just helped her get funding for a store. And then 6 months into her business, this is a screenshot of a text message that she actually sent where I was like, hey, girl, how's sales since we were at the half year mark? And she responded with $96,978. Yeah. So my girl had basically made six figures in 6 months. And she goes on to say that 12,000 was via DoorDash. DoorDash. So imagine making over five figures through DoorDash in your beauty supply business. So this is why we need additional revenue streams, because this is how millions are made, is by having several streams of income in your beauty supply business model. So we're not just thinking about just setting up shop and just making money with our four walls. We are thinking about adding additional revenue streams into our business so that we can make the money that everybody else makes. Again, with our first case study, Benisa, she didn't just open a beauty supply store. She opened a full service salon, and her salon is beautiful, y'all, as well as a beauty supply store. And so I believe that beauty supply stores are going to move into a one-stop shop business model where you will have to have some type of service-based business in your beauty supply store. So it does not have to necessarily be hair, even though it's very lucrative. Like I too had two stations in my beauty supply store, and the two stations alone, we was making well over $10,000 just off of the two girls that was doing bundles all day in beauty supply, right? And so there's a lot of money to be made when you're able to have hairstylists do hair and have the clients buy the products and buy maintenance as well as have their service. But you can also do makeup, right? If you understand that, makeup is a huge void in the community, you can do makeup. You could do massages. You can do like sky is the limit with what type of service you want to have in your business. You just want to think about what the void is in the community. What are we missing? That if I had it in my beauty supply store, it would be a game changer, right? So again, we are constantly thinking about the multiple streams of revenue that we can add to our business model. Okay. Now, let's talk about funding, right? So, money and getting funding in this industry is not an issue at all, like people think it is, right? A lot of times we think that we have to be self funded and we have to have all this money, and you don't. You just need to be positioned right? You need to be well positioned, okay? Because if you don't have certain things already established in your business plan, or you don't have financial projections, lenders will not approve your application, okay? So here, the secret gem is having a winning beauty supply business plan that's built on the 5 P's, right? The 5 P's is all you need in your business plan. I'm going to break that down for you, right? First P is place, right? That's location, traffic, demand. Okay. The second P is the purpose. So the purpose is, what are you going to use this money for, right? This is called the sources and uses of funds. And the lenders want to know, line item for line item, how you plan on using this money. Where is it going to go and why? Okay. That's purpose, right? You got to explain that. The third part that you need to have in your business plan is your product mix. We spoke about this. This was the first thing we talked about. You need to understand and be able to articulate a high margin, fast moving beauty essentials product mix, right? So you have to show, again, brands that's going to be in demand, that people are going to be banging your doors down because they can't find this brand anywhere else, right? The fourth P is promotion. This is essentially marketing. You need to show these lenders, with all the other beauty supply stores that's out there, how you plan on finding customers and keep them coming back to your store, right? So essentially, you're going to have to really articulate how you plan on stealing people, okay? Because they're shopping somewhere. Everybody is shopping somewhere for their stuff. You need to figure out where they're shopping for their stuff and how you're going to capture their attention so they can now shop with you, okay? And then the last P is going to be your projections. This is the number part, and this is the most important part. You need to show in your business plan clear financial projections. So this is revenue, at least 3 years, expenses, at least 3 years, and all of your break-even numbers. So a lender can be able to assess whether or not this business is going to be making enough money to actually repay this loan. So we have to be able to clearly show that in our projections, okay? Because there's things that lenders are going to reject versus what gets approved. And again, we got 1.4 million approved for our clients in our programs. And so we know exactly what they reject. They're going to, for example, they're going to reject a business plan that just says, I just love hair and beauty. No, you need to be able to say this store serves a high demand Black and brown consumer base with proven repeat purchases, right? They're not going to approve vague location ideas. They're going to want to see specific plaza with traffic counts, with the demographic information, as well as nearby anchors, right? What are anchors? That might be a Publix, that might be a Trader Joe's or a Whole Food, right? An anchor is a big store, a Walmart, right? And a big franchise name brand store that's going to help bring people to your beauty supply business, right? They are going to reject, I'm going to figure out how to use the money once I get it. That's like the funniest one. You have to be able to show and break down clear use of funds down to inventory, build out systems and everything before you would ever get approved for a business loan. Okay. These are the things that you need to have. I'm going to bring Keisha up because she has something exciting to share.
Yes, ma'am. So last week I reported that I went underwriting, and today I actually got approved for my full amount for my loan.
Yay.
Thank you, Janice, actually, for saying, no, call him tomorrow. I got the official email announcement today that I got the full amount that I requested. And yes, right. So I'm excited. I'm nervous and everything all in between. I mean, it took me a year to get here. I'm here now. The money is available.
Well, that's so exciting. Let everyone know what the full amount is.
I got 150K.
Yes. See, it's possible, y'all. It's possible.
And in the words of Janice, everything's going to be moving fast right now. Yes, y'all. And so that is Keisha. She opened her store in Houston, Texas as well, and literally got $150,000 for her beauty supply store that literally she didn't have to use her own money. We was able to help her get that funding. And that is the amount that we literally get on average
for our clients, right? So in order to open a store, right, you want to make sure that you have enough funding, because another big issue is that people open these stores, and when they don't know what they don't know, they open the stores and they don't have enough money, right? They don't have enough funding. So they wind up opening these stores as bare bones. You barely have any product to sell people. And if you don't have the product, you can't make the money. Okay. So you have to have enough product in your store to make the money that our Asian and Arab counterparts make. And so getting the funding is a big part of what we help our clients do, because we understand that this is the biggest obstacle for most people. All right. And so it is possible. So let's just recap and check in. Let me know if this is all helpful for you guys. Let me know if you are understanding how you can make millions in beauty supply. Give me a yes in the chat if this was helpful. Let me know if I did my job, y'all. Let me know if I did my job. If I did my job, say she did her job. She did her job. She did her big one. Okay. Let me know if this was worth your time. Like, if you hear saying like, oh, this was worth my time, or this was a waste of my time, like, let me know. Let me know. I'm okay. I'll take it either way. I'm gonna take it either way. Also, I told you that there was certain people that's going to be on this train tonight that you've been thinking about this for a while, right? And you just need some more information. So for those of you who this has been on your spirit for a minute, I want to know how you feel right now. Do you feel like you are really ready to start your own beauty supply store, that you have enough information to go ahead and give it a yes? If so, drop a yes in the chat. Drop in yes in the chat, right? Drop in yes in the chat. And if you want to join the movement of us opening 100 Black-owned beauty supply stores this year, is not for everybody, okay? It's for a select few. If you are interested in joining the movement of Black entrepreneurs taking over the beauty supply industry one store at a time, I want you to write "I'm ready" in the chat, because there's certain people who they would love this, and there's certain people who are ready to make that move. If you are one of the people who you are ready to make that move, type in "I'm ready" in the chat, because we are about to do this. Type in "I'm ready" in the chat. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Because if you're ready, your next step is to partner with us to get your store open. Like I said, we are the #1 firm doing this for Black people in America. And your next step is for you to partner with us in our beauty supply intensive program to turn that vision into a reality. Okay. So in our intensive program, this is our 12-month program that is your path to you owning a profitable beauty supply store that is built to last, meaning this is a business that you are going to pass down from generation to generation, because we understand that when we start this type of business, this is literally about owning something that we can now pass down to our children and our grandchildren, right? And we also understand that this is an asset that is a recession resistant asset in an industry where when things hit the fan, people actually spend more money, right? We saw this through 3 different pandemics, right? And we understand that Black women still spend no matter what the climate is, okay? And so we are not just teaching you, we are positioning you, right? Positioning is everything, for the funding, right? For the vendors, right? And for long-term profit. And so how we break this down in this program is we have our 3 C's that's built for success. That is our community, that is our courses, and that is our roadmap, which is our clarity. So our first C starts with our beauty supply execution weekend. This is our intensive weekend where you are going to be all coming in to Atlanta, Georgia, March 27th and 29th. So this is where everybody that's on this call from all these different cities, we meet in Atlanta, Georgia, and we actually get to work on your store, right? So we are not just on another training, because we could just do that virtually. But no, we are hands-on in person, working on everything that I mentioned, right? So we're working on our product mix. We're working on our business plan in our financial projections. We are working on our branding for our store so we can be set apart from the competition for those of you who feel like it's a saturated market, right? We are working on our systems and operations. And I'm literally working with you guys on your entire beauty supply documents, right? And your entire system, so that when you leave this 2-day workshop, you are literally pressing play. You're literally pressing play on your beauty supply store. So there is no more research that you need to do. There's nothing else that you need to find out or study, right? You'll have everything done in this 2-day weekend, because it is a weekend where we work, and you are getting live coaching, live feedback, and live accountability on everything that you're building with your beauty supply store. So we're looking at the logo, we're looking at the store layout, right? We create our layout literally together, right? I'm telling you guys what vendors you need to use for what type of product mix you want to create. And the most important part about this weekend is the relationships and the networking and building the long lasting partnership with other people that literally are on the same road as you, right? You're on the same journey. And so this is what makes our program so unique, is that literally you are getting into a network of other like-minded individuals, because in our community, we don't come from families who have been doing business, right? We come from families where it's like work your 9-to-5 job, get an education, work 30 years and retire. And so it's really important that if you want to change your life, you have to change your environment. You have to change who you hang out with. You have to get on more trainings like this and get around people who want to do what you're trying to do. And that literally is the most important part. Like in our mastermind community, we've had women, literally, if someone was having a grand opening in Texas, literally we've had women fly out to support a sister in her grand opening in Texas. That's how tight the community is. And so whereas I started my store, I wish y'all that I would have been able to just plug into a community. Like, you ain't got to give me no course, you ain't got to give me anything. If I could just find a community of people I could just talk to, I would have paid a lot of money just to be in a community. And literally, y'all get into this community, and it's just a group of women and men that wants to help each other. And you over here in this city, we're going to help each other. You over here in that city, we're going to help each other. We're going to come together and we're going to do orders together, right? Because when we do orders together, we get better minimums, right? So working together, doing orders together, doing business together, literally people have found business partners in our live workshops, like business partners. Literally, I don't got to do this by myself. I can have a business partner. We don't even think about that, because we think that we have to do everything by ourselves, but that's not the case, right? So this is exactly what we do at our live execution workshop.
Anything else you want to mention about your journey and inspire other people who might be thinking about taking the leap into opening a beauty supply store, and they're just like, I don't even know what to do, how to start, I'm scared, like working, mom, like all the things.
Oh my goodness, all the things. Listen, you're gonna have all the things. That's not gonna go away in this world, right? Yep. But that's how we overcome, by sharing our testimonies with one another. And then I would also say, do not let your dreams die. Don't let it just be an idea. There are so many people that are dead in their grave and they had a dream and they went down to the grave with it and nobody knows. Don't be that person. You can do this. You have help, longevity. Get with someone that has some mature experience. I mean, and if there's some conflict, work through it with peace, with a solution, not just adding on to it. Work with it through a solution. But regardless, don't let your dreams go to the grave. Live them out.
Exactly. So this was a snippet of our last intensive that we had last year. It was such a beautiful space. I didn't even mention the branding part. Like literally, we also do a branding shoot in this space. It's like a beautiful event space. I can't wait for y'all to see it, but it's super beautiful. And we actually were shooting campaigns, shooting our content for our social media, and literally getting everything done in this weekend. So you get so much done in the 2 days. Okay. So guys, if you are interested, guys, I want you to go ahead and book a call with me. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for those of you who are interested in starting and joining us in our intensive program. You book the call with us. I do have some time, I believe, this week to take calls, right? So this is going to be a call for those of you who are interested. You go ahead and book a call with me, and we will get you started, get you enrolled on the phone call. Okay. So the second part of this is the courses. So courses are very, very important, and we have our online university. So this is our university. I call it the Harvard of beauty supply, because it's literally hundreds of different training courses and modules that me and my team have created to teach you A to Z everything on getting started in beauty supply. So inside this university, you get my beauty supply startup course. You're getting a step-by-step retail curriculum. All of our courses come with its own templates, guys, and calculations, right? These are our calculators that we formulated for literally everything that you're going to need in your store. And so this is where we literally give you plug and play documents so that you are literally not creating anything from scratch. You also get our business plan templates and our financial projections templates. So literally the business plan is already created. All you have to do is plug and play your own information, plug it in, and literally get your own business plan that you can take to a lender. So this is an overview of some high level courses that we have in the plan. So in our university. So establishing your beauty supply roadmap, right? Outlining key milestones for your beauty supply store, building your business credit, learning how to create those retail lines and build personal and business credit for your store so that you can get funding, right? We also have business plan and startup projections. So not only do we give you the templates, but I literally teach you how to put your information inside the business plan, how to put your information inside these financial projections so you know exactly how to build this business plan where lenders are going to say yes to your application. Building your unique brand, right? Building a brand that's going to be set apart from the competition and having your own unique brand identity, right? And then building and putting all of this together so that you can pitch your business to banks and lenders, right? This is exactly what Terrell did. She got $75,000 in funding for her beauty supply store called Flawless Beauty Supply in Dallas, Texas. And she wrote here, Janice was such a phenomenal help in getting this girl boss started. Her course had a lot of information that you cannot just get anywhere. Okay. And so literally Terrell came into the program, got our hands on our business plan template, filled it out in a weekend, gave it to her lender on a Monday, and got the approval on a Friday. That's how fast she was able to move and get the approval for her beauty supply store, just getting our business plan and doing the work in a weekend. Okay. And then the third part is our clarity session. So as soon as you enroll, you'll get a one-on-one strategy session with myself. Okay. So we get on a Zoom call where I create a roadmap and custom plan for you in which you are going to get the store open and running within a 12-month time period. It just depends on what your goals are. And this is why it's so important for me to have this call so that I can custom build a roadmap that is going to be realistic, because there's a lot of people who are on here who are like, I want to open my store in a month. Well, that may not be realistic for where you are in your situation. And so it's important to get on the phone with your coach, which is me, so that I could tell you, based on where you are in your situation, this is what the milestones need to be. And this is what the 12 months is going to look like for you, because it's going to be different for everybody. Okay. And so this session is very, very vital, because you want to be able to have a roadmap and to be able to see everything clearly and to know step by step, which step should I do first? What should I do second? What should I do third? There's a certain order to this, guys, for you to open it the right way, because anybody could try to throw together a store, right? Anyone could try to throw together something, but there's a certain methodology of how we actually get things done. And that's why this roadmap session is very, very important. So this is a full value breakdown of what you're getting in the intensive program. So again, you're getting our Beauty Supply University for 12 months. That's a value of $5,000. You're getting the one-on-one strategy and roadmap session with myself. That's valued at $1,000. And then you're also getting the in-person beauty supply workshop in Atlanta. That's a value of $3,000. So total value is over $9,000 of what you're getting in this program. Okay. So serious question for my people on the line. If we were able to help you open your beauty supply store in 2026, help you build financial freedom, help you retire or quit your job and create financial freedom and generational wealth for you and your family, and literally just change your life, because beauty supply literally changed my life and I'll always be grateful for it. Would it be worth that investment of $9,000 if you would be able to do all of that, create a multi-six-figure $1 million business and be able to quit your job? Would it be worth that investment in yourself? Give me a yes or a yes in the chat. Because it is at this point where it's time to invest in yourself that this is where most people stop. And they start coming up with the excuses and the money mindset issues. Like I mentioned before, I don't have the time. I got other financial things going on. Let me just wait till next year. And it's not because they can't, because when Beyonce drops her tickets, she sells out. When the iPhone drops, there's lines around the corner, right? So it's not that we can't do it, but a lot of us are stuck with fear that we try to make it sound responsible. And so, guys, our accelerator program, because we want to make sure that everyone can get into the door, our regular standard enrollment is $5,000, right? So you're not paying $9,000. Our regular fee is $5,000 because we don't want access to be the barrier, right? We won't want access to be the barrier, and we are literally wanting to open 100 stores this year, okay? But for y'all that is on the line tonight, y'all are getting an exclusive 40% off for my birthday sale, y'all. I just turned 40. Y'all. And so I have been doing a private 40% off for my tribe. So this is people who are already in my community. They are already getting 40% off. And so I'm extending it to you guys as well on this training. Okay, so we have two options for you to move now. You can start literally as low as $350. Okay, so we have a weekly option. It's $350 for 10 payments, or you can do a monthly option. That's $1,100. You do 3 payments. Okay, and if you are able to do pay in full, you save an additional $500 if you're able to pay in full. So y'all, we have the 40% off, and then you have an additional $500 off when you enroll during our special sale. So again, the link is in the chat for you to book a call if you are interested in joining us. Okay. This is Elora Beauty Supply out in Jacksonville, Florida. This is another case study where she was able to get $75,000 in funding for her store. And literally, this was her grand opening. We smile from ear to ear, child. We smile from ear to ear. And so Jamesia and her husband hired me and the team to help her open a store. And she says, quote, "Elora was our dream come true. And we could not have done it without Janice and her team." This is Jacksonville, Florida. So this is why this program exists, because we want to remove confusion, guessing delays, bad vendor decisions. I spent $20,000 with the wrong vendors, guys. That alone is enough, okay? Wrong location, disorganized funding plans. We give you the roadmap that literally has worked for women nationwide. So again, you're getting in this program 12 months within our university, the product mix blueprint, vendor accounts, POS setup, operations manual, build out guidance, online store setup, right? So you can have those additional revenue streams. A lot of the revenue streams I didn't even touch upon, right, in this training. There's so many more that's in our university. Okay, so this is another case study. Neor Beauty Supply, first Black-owned beauty supply store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So the gentleman on the end, those are the owners of the business. They called me and said, "Hey, we want to open a beauty supply store. We don't know if it's going to work because we're men." I said, "Baby, it's going to work because you are men." And literally, they generated $10,000 in sales there during their grand opening weekend. $10,000 in a weekend. In a weekend, guys. This is life-changing money that people are making in 2 days. But because the community came out, and I told y'all, when the community knows a Black-owned store is coming, they come out. The community, there was a line down the block. It was one of the greatest grand openings I've ever attended. And literally the community came out and showed out, and they made $10,000 in sales in a weekend, y'all. So I do have a fast action bonus for people who want to take action tonight, who are like, I don't need to get on the call with you. I've heard enough and I want to enroll tonight. If you want to enroll tonight, because action takers are the best mentees, they make the best mentees, I am going to throw in for you guys today a done for you business plan and financial projection written by my business writer who only works with our top tier clients in our one-on-one program. Now, our one-on-one program is a program where we do everything for you. It starts at $30,000. And so one of the milestones is the business plan that's written by our business writer. Okay. We charge $3,000 for that. But when you enroll tonight, if you go ahead and enroll tonight, we are going to write the business plan for you. So you don't need to worry about doing the template. You don't need to worry about any of that because a business writer will write it for you. So this is a lender ready business plan structured to meet bank and private funding standards. So your location and market validation is in there. The demand, the demographics is in there. You're going to have the uses of funds in there. The product mix is going to be done for you. The 12-month monthly projections over 3 years is going to be done for you so that we are going to show these lenders that your store is going to be profitable, that is going to be clearly mapped out. Again, she only does this for our one-on-one clients and our top tier programs. But if you enroll today, you are going to be getting this exclusive bonus. Now, this is not going to be available later. So this is exclusively for the people who are ready to move right now. And is like, go ahead and just go ahead and drop that link in the chat. So the link is in the chat with all of the payment options, guys. And so if you enroll tonight, you're going to go ahead and get that fast action bonus, which is a done for you business plan. Okay. So now we have the university that you're getting. You have the one-on-one roadmap and strategy session that you're getting. You also have the in-person workshop in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, tonight, if y'all enroll tonight, y'all, you are also going to get the fast action bonus done for you business plan and financial projections written by our business writer, value at $3,000. So total of everything you get in today is worth well over $12,000. Okay. And you are going to be able to walk away with all of that for a fraction of the price. Okay. So pay in full is $3,000. There's also funding available on the checkout page. So guys, click on that checkout page because we also have Afterpay and Klarna. So if you use Afterpay, Klarna, Amazon Pay, go ahead and pay them people later and get your pay in full discounted rate. You'll save $500 if you use Afterpay, Klarna. Okay, so click the link, guys. I dropped that link in the chat. Let me know if this link works for you guys. I dropped the checkout link in the chat. Once you open the checkout link, you are going to see the option to do Klarna or Afterpay. Pay them people later. Get enrolled now so you can get your business plan. If you don't get approved with Klarna and Afterpay, that's all right. If you got $350, you can start with our weekly payments and literally get in the door with getting your business plan done for you. The business plan by itself, y'all, literally we charge $3,000 for that by itself. Okay, so this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer, y'all. Okay, you can get started with $350 today. All you need is $350 to get started today to lock in your space. All right. So guys, we wrapping up here. This is the moment. This is a moment where you can stand on the sidelines, continue to watch other trainings, YouTube, Facebook, or you can enroll now, take advantage of the discount as well as the fast action done for you business plan, where we're doing all of the work for you in the business plan and financial projections, and meet us in Atlanta literally next month. So you can be a part of the one of 100 stores that will be opening in 2026. Okay. Because this program is for you if you are seriously thinking about opening a beauty supply store this year in 2026. This program is for you if you want funding ready strategy, right? Not just random YouTube and Google advice. Okay. This is for you, for the ones who said, I'm done playing small. I'm done working my 9 to 5. I need a change. I can't have a repeat of last year. How many of you cannot afford to have a repeat of 2025? Who wants to be in 2027 with me, looking back on our 2026, saying that you did it? You did it. I want y'all to be on my slides in 2027. Okay. And so if you know that you can't have a repeat of 2025 and something has to change, this is your sign. This is your moment. And literally, this is where we start to actually get you into the seat of ownership. Now, let me break down what the first 30 days inside of this program looks like. Okay. Let me break down what the first 30 days looks like. So immediate access to our university. So as soon as you enroll, you get immediate access into our university. Okay. You will also get an email to book your one-on-one strategy and roadmap call. Okay. So as soon as you put down your deposit of $350 or you pay in full, you're going to get an email immediately, confirmation of your payment, and a link to book your one-on-one onboarding call. So this is where we're going to have the roadmap session. Okay. This is where we're going to map out your 12-month plan to opening your beauty supply store. Again, clear milestones with dates and tracking. So there's no guesswork. Okay. You're also, for those of you who booked tonight, you're going to get your business plan done for you. So you're going to fill out your business plan questionnaire, and the business plan is going to be delivered within 14 business days. So it is a fast turnaround with my business writer. Okay. So you're going to get that business plan back to you for 14 days. Some of y'all been on here wanting to write this business plan. It's been taking you months, and some of y'all even years. Okay. And then we are going to start with our pre-workshop execution. So all of the courses that you need to be watching and all the homework that you need to be doing before our live workshop in Atlanta, Georgia. So you're going to be preparing all of the key pieces before we get together live in Atlanta, Georgia, March 28th and 29th, right? So that we are preparing to just work for those 2 days. Okay. So like I said, guys, this is your next move if you want to start your store. Okay. So you can keep researching and trying to figure it out, or you can accelerate and get with the team and invest in yourself. Okay. So, guys, if you have questions, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can answer some questions. If you guys got questions, I have answers. We have a few more minutes here. I'm actually a little bit over time, but that's okay. If you have questions, I'll be on here for like 2 seconds, y'all. Okay. I want to answer your questions. Did y'all have questions, or did I explain everything clearly? Do y'all have questions, or did I explain everything clearly? I did my job. Let me know who's on the sidelines, who's on the fence. If you are on the fence, let me help you get off that fence. So go ahead and drop your question in the chat. If you're on the fence, what can I do for you to get off that fence, child? Anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions? If you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, this is scary. Let me tell you something. It's going to be scary. Anything that is big is going to be scary. That is a normal feeling. Anything that you do that is big is going to be scary. When I had my first baby, I was scared. When I got married, I was scared. Being nervous and scared is a normal feeling. But I want you to think about what is going to be worse. Is staying stuck where you are at in the same position as last year. Because I can tell you for myself, there's no way I'm going to be in the same position I was in last year. It ain't no way. It ain't no way. I said, God, whatever I need to do differently this year, just give me the courage to do it differently. Give me the courage to do it scared. But I do not want to be in the same position I was in last year. No, no. No, no. So let me know if you guys have any questions. If you're on the fence, type fence in the chat. This is a safe space. If you're on the fence, type fence in the chat. Type fence in the chat if you're on the fence. Because let me tell you, this fast action bonus that we have for y'all, that the team put together, because I was like, I don't know if I want to give away a business plan, because that's a lot of work that we do. But because we want to make sure that people feel empowered to move forward, we drop in a business plan complimentary. So you getting that business plan done for you. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We say my only problem is the money to start I spent on the bills. Yep, girl, go ahead and do that Afterpay. Do Afterpay or Klarna. We got Afterpay and Klarna up in there. So if fear is not the issue and it's money, see, I can work with the money issue. Afterpay and Klarna is on there. And if you don't get approved with Afterpay and Klarna, and you have the ability to start with $350, which is the absolute lowest that we could have gone on the payment arrangement, like that was the lowest that we could have done on that payment arrangement, get in with that $350. And when you get the rest, you can say, hey, Janice, I got the rest of the money now. I just want to pay this thing off. And we paid off. But if that is the issue, go ahead and book a call with me. And we can also figure out other funding opportunities that we have as well. So we can be able to work something out. So go ahead and book a call with me. I'm going to drop my link in the chat so that you can, so we can figure it out. So just go ahead and book a call with me so that we can be able to figure that out for you with other funding, other creative funding things that we could probably think of. But I want you guys to be able to think about the fence that you're on and understanding that this moment right here is the very worst that it could get. So worst case scenario, if this does not work out for me, if I get into this and I do all the things and I do all the work, right? Worst case scenario is I'm just going to be back where I'm at right now. That's worst case scenario. I'm just going to be here still in the same place. That is the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you do it and it works. Now you're going from making, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month at your job to a business that can make you $20,000 and you don't need to have a warehouse, to a business that can make you six figures in 6 months. It took me a year to make six figures in a job. I didn't even reach six figures when I was working corporate, if I'm being honest. But we have clients that's making that in 6 months. That's if it works. So the if it works outweighs the worst that can happen, which is like we are already experiencing the worst. We're already here. We're already stuck. I'm already in this job. So if the worst that can happen is happening. The worst that can happen is happening if it don't work out. But if it do, the return on your investment of time and money will surely exceed the worst that will happen. So whenever I'm thinking about something and I'm like, I don't know, this is risky, I think about worst case scenario and best case scenario. Most of our worst case scenario is already happening to us every single day. We in a job that we don't want to be in. We got to get PTO just to take time off. I miss all my kids' stuff because I'm working at this 9-to-5 job. I can't make it to the basketball games. I can't make it to practice. I can't do anything. I got to ask somebody to take time off. This is the worst that can happen. I'm already experiencing it. I already know what it is. So now I'm thinking about best case scenario. Your life will change. My children's lives will change. I'll be able to literally make the money that I've dreamed of and live the life that I dreamed of and be able to create time freedom. That's the real flex, if you ask me. I think the greatest thing about being an entrepreneur is the time freedom. The fact that I could literally work from anywhere. When I got married with my beauty supply store, I was literally in Greece. And my employees was telling me that we made $1,200 in a day. I had, up until that point, and this was new in my beauty supply business, I have never made $1,200 in a day. And they made it without me even being there. I'm like, how y'all make this type of money and I'm not even there? I was trying to figure it out. I was like, how you make $1,200? Me by myself, I ain't make $1,200. Now I go on honeymoon And y'all want to show out. I don't know what happened. God was just on the place when I was on my honeymoon. But this is what the Asians do, y'all. They don't really be in a beauty supply store like that. They hire Black people and literally they just be in the background somewhere. That's how they do it in New York. That's how they do it in New York. So, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got to say about that. No, I'm live. I'm just talking, child. I'm live. Okay, so the workshop is a week and it's all day. So we work from 9. We start from 9 in the morning to 4 p.m. Yes. So it's 2 days, it's all day. It's 9 to 4 each day. Okay, so that answers your question. Any other questions? Any other questions? Oh, she says she's been planning on this for years. Awesome. Well, we're going to make it a reality today, my good sis. We're going to make it a reality today. So there's a delay in this, by the way. So there is a delay in the recording. So I'm going to log off here. Guys, I'm going to drop my booking for y'all to have a little chitty chat with me so we can just continue the conversation offline because I'm going to log off now. Okay, but I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And guys, if you have questions, just go ahead and book the call with me and we will get on the Zoom and I'll be able to, deep dive into your situation and see how we can get you enrolled into the program, because I know that this is really important for you guys. And I could tell by this group of people, y'all are serious and y'all are really, really ready. And there's a lot of you on here that's been doing this for years. So I'm excited to work with you guys. I'm excited and grateful to have you guys on this training tonight. And I will see you guys on the other side of Beauty Supply Success. Have a good night, y'all.